Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're looking at running for president.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red cake.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will not become president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Moderator, but apparently believes that Donald Trump is a clown.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at...
We have a key race alert right now. Donald Trump now has reached the number of delegates needed to clinch the Republican presidential nomination.
So, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say, you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun. It's been great. I love you. But come on, buddy.
Donald Trump, while we project, will win in Kentucky with its 8th electoral vote, in Indiana with its 11th electoral vote, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Together, we will make America great again.
Welcome in to the national holiday known as January 6th, the day of insurrection. How could we not have a CobraCast on January 6th? Of course we're going to have a CobraCast on January 6th, the single most devastating day in the history of our country, ladies and gentlemen. The day when terror reigned supreme. January 6th, the worst day of all time. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, my name is Jeremy. Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host. What's up, Snake Pit? That's right. It isn't January 6th. It's January 6th. And we are here. And I hope all of you are being safe on this sacred holiday. I hope you're safe from all of the insurrectionists out there. It's really scary out there. Scary times. I know a lot of scary things going on. Scary people. But I hope you're all doing well. The nonsense has not stopped today. People have been screaming and crying all over Twitter. The Democrats are making up fake narratives because, of course, they are. The nonsense has just been next level to a point where I don't even know. I mean, you've got like Joe Biden tweeting nonsense, or at least his account is tweeting nonsense because of course he is. Now today is this is a super chat square up. Just so we're clear, super chat square up. And so I had Wednesday's stream. I was not able to get to all the super chats. We got way behind. It was a crazy day. So we're going to catch up on some of those, and then we're going to read the rest of your super chats, and then we're going to go live and play some video games over on Cobra 199. But I had to do a stream on January 6th, the most devastating day in the history of our country, worse than Pearl Harbor, worse than 9/11. Oh, just terrible. Just terrible. The day will live on in infamy forever. The day where one person died. That's right. Because there's never been a day in history where someone died. There's never been a day in history where someone died. Now, I don't want to get too graphic. Here, okay? But I actually have footage of January 6th. It's a reenactment, okay? It is a reenactment. But I want, like, if we have women or children or male feminists in the chat, I'm going to need them to prepare for what we're going to see. So again, women, children, male feminist, or Disney Star Wars fans. If you're in the audience right now, please understand that what you're about to see is a reenactment of the worst day in the history of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Here is a reenactment of January 6th. Oof. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could watch that again. I'm going to try one more time, but that was bad. All right. I'm a little triggered. Whew. One more time. I don't know if I can watch this more than twice, though. Here we go. Oh! Ooh. That's tough right there, man. I am so sorry that you got to see this reenactment of January 6th. Whew. He did. He tried to end him. And that's just rough, man. That's just rough. The poke of doom. That's right. That is right. The poke of doom. Everybody remembers. And we're gonna let you hear a message from someone. Now, we are currently at a point in time where the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans are trying their best to basically stop Donald Trump from running for president of the United States in 2024 because of the incitement of insurrection. So let's never forget what Twitter 1.0 did right here. Never forget that Donald Trump posted a video on January 6th telling people to go home peacefully. Twitter 1.0 took it down within 5 minutes. They prevented people from hearing this. What horrible thing did Donald Trump say in this video that required Twitter to take this down?
I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
And, you know, seeing this, like, again, this is why I will continue to compliment Elon Musk for the purchase of Twitter. You know, him purchasing Twitter was a monumental shift in the culture. No doubt about that. A monumental shift. And I'll always appreciate him for doing that because Twitter was a complete and total shit show. It really was. It was Twitter was basically an extension of the left-wing government. And it's really bad. It's really bad. But I'm really happy that we are at a point in time where Elon Musk has purchased Twitter. I think that it has helped shift the culture for sure. But there's so much nonsense out there on this day, this January 6th day. It's absolutely insane. I see all of you on Rumble. I see you on YouTube. You guys are amazing. I don't even know how many people we have watching right now because I've got the stream pulled up from the last stream. Because again, this is me doing a super chat square up from from Wednesday's stream when I didn't read all the super chats because the stream was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. So I appreciate you guys being here, the nearly 2,000 people on YouTube and the amazing crowd over on Rumble. Rumble's actually been pretty lit tonight. And yes, we do have this right here. We do have the dueling chat still. I haven't had time to set up a different one, but we do have the dueling chats right there. So you have, and I don't know why when I copy and paste the link on Rumble, it doesn't give me dark theme. Because if anybody knows me, I'm all about the dark mode on my computer and on my phone. I can't stand the light theme. Very racist of me, I know. Very, very racist indeed. But here we are on January 6th with the Rumble chat and the YouTube chat dueling. And yeah, it's crazy. Here we are. I mean, nearly, let's see, all these people, whether you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, amazing. Man, we lost a shit ton of viewers when I said this is just a super chat square up, but I'm sorry. We are going to celebrate January 6th a little bit, though. I mean, come on. I mean, I do have this clip right here of absolute nonsense because this is what they want to do right here. This is the goal right here. Now, again, the more and more I learn about January 6th, the more it becomes obvious to me that this was a complete inside job. It's obvious. Look, man, I'm not saying that I was thrilled of everything I saw that day. I thought that, the situation was like, it's all about what Steven Crowder said years and years ago. No, a couple years ago, I would say. And he's right about this. Steven Crowder is 100% right about this. If you're not a leftist, then you're playing by a different set of rules. You're 100% being, you have to play by a different set of rules. They are holding you to a standard that they do not hold themselves to. That is true. And so when January 6th happened, the imagery that they were able to take from that is something they're going to use till the end of time. And they're going to build the narrative till the end of time. Alex Jones was there, and Alex Jones was sitting there telling people, don't walk into it. It's a trap. They're setting traps. Alex Jones is always right. Alex Jones is always right. Alex Jones literally out there saying, hey, don't go here. They want you to do this. Don't go here. Because Alex Jones is awesome. And, so it is what it is, though. But listen to this right here. Listen to this. D.C. U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves is making it clear that the DOJ is now going to target Americans who were around the Capitol on J6 but did not enter the building. Now, why is all of this happening? All of this is happening because they want to take Trump down. This is all meant to build the narrative about taking Trump down.
Building. An important note when it comes to what happened inside of the building. An important note when it comes to our prosecutions about those who remained outside the building. We have used our prosecutorial discretion to primarily focus on those who entered the building or those who engaged in violent or corrupt conduct on Capitol grounds. But if a person knowingly entered the restricted area without authorization, they had already committed a federal crime. Make no mistake, thousands of people occupied an area that they were not authorized to be present in the first place.
Oh my God. He talks exactly like I would expect him to talk. Is the Destiny Alex Jones debate going on right now? Is it really? I saw some advertisement about that. Is it on YouTube? Destiny Alex Jones. Is that really going on right now?
Unlocking multiple doors and letting other people in.
It is going on right now. Hang on. Well, that's somebody watching it, though. Where is it at? Like, what channel is it being streamed on? What channel is the Destiny Alex Jones thing being directly streamed on? That's what I want to know. Is it somebody's YouTube channel? Rumble? Hang on, let's see. I see people reacting to it. Fuck yeah, we'll watch this. Maybe we will get to the square up tonight. Good Lord. Krista, are you here?
I'm here.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night, so.
Hello, chat. Hail the 199. I don't know if MCU fans here, but they're a simpy.
All right.
Service. And,
I think we got it.
We'll get a question, and before we
Is this it?
Wrap. But what do you guys think? I mean, let me start with you, Darren, because I haven't heard from you.
By the way, I don't want to wrap. I mean, I say take a break. A lot of people are tuning in now. I'll keep having this debate all day long.
Yeah, we might keep going. But Darren, what do you think about the prison sentences in general that these people have been getting?
I think they're completely overblown, and they're, it's consistent with what we're talking about, this amplification of January 6th into this false domestic terrorist act. And, the stakes, what are the stakes involved? The reason it's being amplified in this fashion is to justify the further weaponization of the national security apparatus against Trump supporters and to suppress the energies associated with Trump's movement. Completely. Therefore, you have these crazy sentencing. I think they're all crazy. Even those top sentences for the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, 20 years, 18 years. It's simply insane when you think about, again, all of it has to be comparative. There are people guilty of murder who get less prison time. And the self-described, self-professed posture of the DOJ in the immediate aftermath of January 6th is one of shock and awe, which ominously but kind of unwittingly, accurately recalls the Iraq War and the war on terror. This is not an accident. It's very fitting that the Department of Homeland Security is the tip of the spear when it comes to this repurposing of the national security apparatus. It was the Department of Homeland Security that said white supremacy is the #1 national security threat, and by white supremacy, they mean Trump. All of these people have also said January 6th was a white supremacist insurrection. Hillary Clinton has said that MAGA is a white supremacist slogan, so that helps to contextualize and clarify.
And all these movies are coming out.
What they mean when they say white supremacy is the #1 national security threat. And so basically, these people, even the people who committed illegal acts, are in effect political prisoners because of the political context of these prosecutions, which are vastly overblown and could only make sense within this political context of the weaponization not only of the national security state, but unfortunately now also the legal apparatus.
And let's go on the line with Glenn again and then all you guys. But I just want to say something. This is important, folks. In June of 2021, Biden put out a national security memorandum, which you just mentioned, saying right-wing extremism is the #1 threat. Then he defined that as white supremacism and then said questioning open borders, questioning elections, questioning lockdowns, questioning forced shots. That's in the report. I've shown it hundreds of times on air. Literally declaring the people enemy. Then he gives a speech with this red background with Marines. I thought I was watching Adolf Hitler. And then yesterday he gives a speech and saying they're taking over, they're a danger, we're at war, all off a riot at the Capitol. At best, it's a riot and obviously provocateur. So this is a branding of 80 million voters plus as a political enemy. This is extremely totalitarian, extremely dangerous, and I was there. I know. You're in a crowd of hundreds of thousands. You're up, tear gas is coming down. You can't even see what's happening at the Capitol. You're saying, don't go in there. We've got a stage. I go there. There's a stage, no one there. I mean, we were set up, and I was set up, and thank God that I waited 30, 40 minutes. I didn't know what to do. I was like, this is weird. How do I lead a crowd that's already left? I was there. And so all I'm saying is this is not the basis to indict populist Americans and say they're terrorists. And if the U.S. government spent the equivalent of $10 trillion, they spent $1 trillion in Afghanistan of real current numbers, But the estimates now are $10 trillion in current dollars in Vietnam, and the Vietnamese wouldn't give up. So Swallowsville says, we'll use F-16s, we'll just kill Americans, we'll take your guns. F-16s don't take guns, folks. I don't want a civil war. I don't want violence. But the entire deep state couldn't defeat the Vietnamese, and now they want a war with the American people while they have one with Russia and while they have one with China. This is madness. It needs to stop. I don't want a war with Democrats. I don't want civil war. I don't have some dream of this, but this is the election strategy of Joe Biden is civil war.
Glenn, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I think this is really the nub of everything. Like, I really do think that the three of them actually believe what they're saying. I'm out like actually realizing this. And the reason they believe it is because they don't know the history of the war on terror. They don't know the history of the Cold War. They don't know what the CIA and the FBI and the US security state have been constructed to do and the role that they played in our domestic politics. Every single time that there's some new crisis, the CIA, the FBI, the permanent power faction in Washington, and it's not like some crazy conspiracy theory. Dwight Eisenhower warned of it on his way out of the presidency in 1961 when he called it the military-industrial complex because he had seen how it was growing beyond all democratic accountability. Every time what they need to do is convince somebody to be scared of something, to be scared of communism, to be scared of terrorism, to be scared of domestic terrorism. And they convince people that some minor event, relatively speaking, in the history of the threats to our country, like the 9/11 attack, which is a terrible thing, but they exaggerated wildly the threat of foreign terrorism to basically institute the Patriot Act and warrantless eavesdropping and all of the things that turned our country more authoritarian. They were announcing that before 9/11. They used 9/11 to do it. They were announcing before January 6th that they wanted to turn right-wing.
How long has this been going, chat? Because so if you're just tuning in, I had forgot. So this is the big Destiny and Alex Jones debate. It's got the Crantonsons or whatever their name is, those left-wing guys. And I saw a few people saying, you know, Greenwald's got a soy voice. His voice sounds as manly as I've ever heard compared to the Crantonson brothers. Those guys sound exactly like you would expect them to sound.
They've made it now so that they can charge those people with felonies and put them in prison for years. That was the Q shaman, 4 years in prison for a nonviolent protest. That's the precedent that you're endorsing with this narrative.
So Jacob Chansley got 4 years, but he served, I think, 1.5 years. But I do want to go back. So Stuart Rose.
For nonviolent.
Stuart Rose.
There are nonviolent crimes.
Sounds exactly like you would expect.
Stuart Rose and Enrique Tarrio. They were sentenced to some of the harshest sentences out of all the January 6ers. Who was the judge? It was a Trump-appointed judge, Timothy Kelly. Now, if you look at the worst convictions, the ones that received the largest sentences, 80% of them were actually under the sentencing guidelines.
Krista, your voice sounds more manly than this guy. Okay, that says a lot because you have a very feminine voice. Even still, you sound more manly than him.
Thank you.
Sentenced from a Trump judge, a Trump-appointed judge. So you're all saying that oh, the courts are rigged against conservatives or Trump supporters, but these are Trump judges. Many of these were Trump judges that actually not charge these people, but sentence these people.
I think that if we want to talk about knowing history and understanding history and contextualizing history, I think if we want to run with that argument, then we need to do real journalist work while we do it. It's not enough to say the FBI or the CIA has done this 10, 20 years ago and then blindly assert it every single time it happens to fit whatever political narrative you want to tell. If you want to tell a story, the person telling the story needs to find evidence to support it. Sure, if you want to say the FBI or the CIA or any other domestic agency has been involved in spying on Americans or doing bad things, that's fine. We all know that it's happened. That doesn't mean that you don't have to find evidence in the future of it happening. And so far, there is no evidence of it happening on January 6th. As many times you want to throw around the follow politics before 2016 or whatever, well, we're in 2024 right now. Find some information from today or find some information from January 6th to today. It's not enough to just keep appealing to the past and pretend like that's going to do your homework for you and that somehow you can make all of these accusations without having any real evidence. As far as this claim of like there are novel uses of charges or people don't do charges like this, as was said over here, like most of the sentences have been within sentencing guidelines. A lot of these have been done with a Trump-appointed judge. The idea that these charges are novel or that people don't face prosecution like this, There's some element of truth to that, but this is also a novel situation. We have never had a president in the United States try to resist the peaceful transfer of power like this. This has just never happened before. And you can keep screaming about Hillary Clinton, you can keep screaming about BLM all you want and talk about the blown up fire stations in the congressional halls. The reality is that none of those situations were like this one. If you want to keep appealing to those and saying those people should have been charged with crimes, we agree they should have been charged with crimes. But to even do the whataboutism, you have to already concede that you are wrong on all of the merits about the current people you're talking about. Every single time we talk about Donald Trump, you go, well, what about when Hillary Clinton or Biden did it? Oh, okay, then you admit that Trump did? Because if you want to admit that Trump is guilty of every single thing that we've been accusing him of, which is what you're doing when you go, what about the other guy? Because it seems like you're just trying to appeal to hypocrisy at that point rather than the fact of the matter, then do that. Say, yeah, Trump did try to cite an insurrection. Yeah, Trump did fail. Yeah, it was a riot. I don't know why you keep saying it mostly peaceful. No, don't ask me this. Let me finish my one point one time without being interrupted by you. You came running back because you heard me talk. You had to interrupt me. I know you came running back and you were so excited for it. Okay? I don't understand this rhetoric of mostly peaceful riot. Yeah, it was mostly peaceful. A lot of riots that have riot aspects to them have a lot of peaceful people there. In a 10,000 man riot, it's not always 10,000 people rioting. It might just be 100 people rioting or 1,000 people rioting. The reality was there was one event on January 6th at the Capitol building. That event was a riot.
Okay, so let me just add some context here. Well, they had 3 trials in Michigan, and one of them it was a mistrial, and they let most of them off another, and they finally got a few convicted. It came out in court that the feds went and found a bunch of basically homeless potheads. And just like Glenn was saying, the New York Times article, they were more accurate, 97% of Islamic plots were hatched by the FBI, including the first World Trade Center bombing. And they admit all that. And I've interviewed the people involved, Ahmad Salam, all of them that knew they were going to do the bombing. He came and said, why have I cooked a real bomb? And they let it go forward. With Whitmer, the same team involved in January 6th from the FBI went and set these people up, and that came out in the mainstream news. Right. So we know this isn't, you guys were saying, we don't want to go back to 10 years ago. You know, I'm sat there for 6-7 minutes, you know, out there smoking a cigarette while you're just going on and acting like you're being censored. You're like, there's no example recently of them doing something corrupt or bad.
Never said that.
It's a great example.
You said that. You said that.
Years ago, he said you can use stuff.
No, Destiny, this is a great point. This is a great point that Alex is making. You don't need to go back to the original war on terror. You don't need to go back to the ample antecedents that exist going way back into our nation's history. Just go back to the Michigan case, and the parallels to January 6th are striking. Look, almost half of the so-called plotters turned out to be either informants or federal agents. One of those federal agents had to recuse himself from the trial because he beat his wife on the way home from a swingers party. The second one had to recuse himself because he was moonlighting in his...
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, personally, like, I find settings like this to be ultra cringy. I mean, obviously, I love Alex Jones. I find the whole, like, debate... You know, like the guy, like it just, nothing really gets accomplished. What gets accomplished is talking directly to your audience and making your points and getting new people to kind of listen. And to me, that's far more beneficial than these cringy debate settings where it's just nothing really gets accomplished. You know what I mean? But if the people want me to watch, we're going to watch and I'll react.
He had a very complicated relationship. Antifa basically excluded him because of his relationship with the government, and they thought he was a Fed. Absolutely, the Feds infiltrate BLM.
Absolutely, they got excluded because of his relationship with the government. He got excluded because that guy was insane. Because he was screaming at people to do all sorts of violent stuff constantly. Nobody wanted to be around him. And at some point, they thought he was
on video in the Capitol saying, "I told you we were going to stage it. I told you it was going to happen."
Yeah, but again, for Sullivan, there's no evidence that Sullivan communicates with anything.
You talk more than all of us. You guys. These guys haven't talked to them.
Why is it that when BLM pro-rioters, I guess you could say, aren't arrested as much as you want? Like, you know, you say the January 6ers were arrested at a much higher rate than the rioters.
That's true.
Okay. How come you don't say that?
And much more property damage as a result of BLM.
So here's the thing, though. Why don't you accuse those who aren't prosecuted for those riots of being federal agents?
Well, in some cases, they probably are. But at that scale, it's hard to...
Maybe they just have more there. How do you know?
No.
Like, if you want to go conspiracy theory, I mean, let's touch all the bases.
But I mean, Michigan is on record.
Can I interject? First, the idea, again, that for the FBI to be infiltrating these groups is a conspiracy theory, again, it requires an understanding of the FBI that's childlike. And what Destiny was saying before is, oh, we're just using what they've done in the past and therefore concluding they must be doing that in the future. He just ignored all the evidence we've been presenting for the last 2 hours, including the fact that the FBI, by their own admission, had informants in all 3 of the leading groups that organized January 6th and were talking to informants on the ground at the Capitol on that day.
Who is the head of the FBI? Who's the head of the FBI?
Appointed him, it's okay.
As far as the January 6th defendants are concerned, it is true that they're getting sentences similar to what people get when they're charged with felonies. The point is that it is insane that nonviolent protesters are being charged with felonies in the United States. That is what never happens. And pointing to Black Lives Matter is not to say, oh yeah, that's whataboutism, so we're admitting that this was an insurrection, and that is too. The point is that what the government is doing, if you look at the disparate treatment between the two, is picking and choosing which movement they like ideologically and politically and which they don't, and punishing much more severely the one that they don't, which is what January 6th is about.
Going into the Capitol building with weapons saying, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. No, that's not a violent crime, but are you saying that doesn't warrant a felony conviction? That's absurd.
No,
you are actually calling for the hanging of the vice president of America.
I'm going to be honest.
The majority of people, no, Alex, hold on one second. The majority of people who were charged with felonies in January 6th are non-violent offenders.
And what did they do, Glenn? What did they do?
An interpretation of the law. They created an interpretation of the law that was enacted after Enron that was designed to criminalize accountants from obstructing fraud at the corporate level. Every single meaning of it to mean that if it's a nonviolent protest, any nonviolent protest now at the Capitol can be charged with a felony.
You're glossing over the facts. You're glossing over the facts, Glenn.
People get 6 month sentences. Hold on, I
want to respond to Glenn.
Get him, Alex. 6 month sentences for going in the damn thing, being waved in by police.
No,
that's on record.
No, but here's the facts. The people who got the felonies were either violent, they were taking part in a conspiracy, or they went into the House chamber. Those are the people who got it. The people who walked into the Capitol building.
That's not true.
It is true.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is
I just gave you a specific example earlier.
Like 1 or 2 based on conspiracy. Give me the example. What did he do?
Thomas Caldwell. He was not violent, and he did not go into the Capitol.
He didn't go. What did he do?
What
was he charged with?
What was his
conviction?
Thank you.
Let's Caldwell's conviction.
Let's talk about.
Did not go in the Capitol.
Let's talk about Thomas Caldwell for a minute.
So real quick, to Glenn's point, keep in mind that when you're saying that BLM wasn't treated the same because of the government and how they, you're not just alleging the federal government at that point. You're alleging every single state government and city municipality that's in charge of arresting people are all on the same page in terms of unfair.
Almost all of us in DC.
Wait, the feds are in charge of prosecuting everybody in every state?
Thomas Caldwell was.
All right, 60%, 62% have said keep watching. So that's I'm gonna keep it up for a few more minutes. Brock just dropped 50 gifted memberships. Let's go.
State mayor and every single blue state governor weighed in on the side of the rioters because they were petrified of being demonized as being racist if they didn't support everything the Black Lives Matter movement did. So yes, the Black Lives Matter movement had corporations sponsoring them. They had Kamala Harris urging and raising money for people to get out of prison who were imprisoned and prosecuted for having engaged in violence as part of the Black Lives Matter movement. The entire establishment was on the side of the Black Lives Matter movement. The entire establishment hated the January 6th defendants. That's the reality of our government that you don't understand.
The reality of our government that you don't understand. No, the reality of our government that you don't understand is that police orders don't come down from the federal government or even from the governors. Policing is done at the municipal level. The idea that governors are dictating.
This is federal.
No, the BLM riots are not all federally prosecuted. These are state crimes that are happening within states. That are happening within states. The idea that the governors themselves, the governors are dictating. The governors themselves are dictating the policing policies to all of these different departments. Where's the evidence of any of that? One message, one email, one memorandum, one thing saying don't arrest protesters. Don't convict them. Not a single shred of evidence.
How much do you love the police state? Why do you suddenly love it?
Why? Isn't that weird?
This is such a shit show.
Isn't that weird? They got arrested by George W. Bush against
why are we forgetting something? We're forgetting one thing, and that is that you can commit a crime, you can commit a felony, and it doesn't have to be violent. There's plenty of felonies on the books that aren't violent, including breaking into a federal building breaking through police lines and going into that federal building and going into the Senate chamber as Congress people are trying to certify an election. How is that going over your head, Glenn?
Let me ask you this. I'm asking you this and everybody. Please answer my question. Is this as bad as Pearl Harbor, or is this as bad as 9/11? And all I'm telling you is,
Please answer.
Is this Biden announcement that currently the number one threat is the Trump supporters, and Trump must be taken off the ballot? You can punt to the Supreme Court, but they're literally trying to preclude Americans for voting for who they want. That's the election theft in our face.
Why do we have to keep going back to that?
That's the third time that question was asked and unanswered.
Yeah, I mean,
answer
it.
I want to go
to taking somebody off the ballot.
I want to talk about Thomas Caldwell, and Darren, maybe you can answer this. Who is he? What did he do exactly, and what was he charged with?
Seditious conspiracy.
I mean, we don't need to get into that so extensively. I was just saying, here is somebody who is not violent, who did not go into the Capitol, who is charged with obstruction of an official proceeding.
Seditious conspiracy.
Well, there was later a superseding indictment.
That's a felony he was charged with. So
Biden's entire campaign is January 6th. Not inflation, not war with Russia, not open borders. I mean, give me a break, man. We had 1 million+ people there. A few hundred got in fights with the cops, and you act like it's the biggest thing since
pretty much deal when a president tries to overturn a legitimate election. That's a really big deal. That's a really big. You had all your investigations, and you lost every single one. When you lose in court, you go to the next day. That's what you do. Remember in 2016 when all the conservatives said, well, you know what? If we would have lost the election, you know what we would have done the next day? We would have went to work. Well, here you are 4 years later still crying about the outcome of the election.
So if Biden's going to win by a landslide, why are the Democrats not winning on the ballot?
It's up to the Supreme Court to decide.
Can I just say what my dream is? My dream is that Ed and Brian and Destiny have to actually live through a real coup so that they can then come back to the set and be like, oh my God, you know what? I'm so sorry for saying that what happened in the Capitol for 3 hours against the most militarized and powerful government to ever exist in human history got anywhere near a coup or an insurrection. A coup or an insurrection.
Let me say this and I'll shut up. I will leave for 10 minutes. I will leave. Let me ask this one question to Glenn. I want you all to answer this. Humor me. I agree. Because Glenn is a really great writer. I really respect him and follow him for decades. Can everyone describe a coup to me? Because usually it's helicopters, taking over media, killing the opposition, troops. And then you're claiming women with American flags and being waved in by police as a coup. So define to me, all of you first, and then Glenn and then the professor, what is a coup? Since this was the most devastating evil coup ever,
a coup is when you enact a scheme to try to circumvent the peaceful transfer of power.
Like Russiagate.
No, they didn't take any action.
They tried to remove him on a line.
There's nothing illegal done there to try and remove
the intelligence agencies censoring, putting out fake dossiers. Oh, that was illegal?
The dossier was
saying his election wasn't legitimate.
Did they try to remove him? They took it to the Congress.
Wait. Hold on. You admit then that Trump tried a coup, and you think Russiagate was also a coup? Then do you want to do
No, I don't agree. Trump did a coup. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Like, do you know about Pinochet? Do you know about Hitler? Do you know about the attempted coups? What is a coup?
On the merits.
Hey,
why don't you fight on the merits of the argument instead of doing the whataboutism without even owning that Trump did something wrong?
No.
Focus on Trump.
Define me a coup.
I just did. Did you not listen to it?
No. Glenn, let's start with Glenn Greenwald. Glenn, you're a well-respected journalist. You look at coups around the world. What do they usually look like?
I know. No, Destiny is now the incredible giant of journalism and the constitutional scholar I used to be, as Destiny said. But anyway, a coup is generally when people in power or people who are trying to get into power marshal the force of the armed factions of that country and use it to eliminate the legal process and take over. So, for example, if Trump had called in the military on his side on January 6th, or he had gotten the military to block people from trying to remove him from office on January 20th, that is always what we say is a coup. Nothing that looks like what happened on January 6th. The other thing I just want to correct, Destiny seems to have this like debate me sort of point that he thinks he keeps making that's so smart, which is when you say—
Why does he waste so much time on catty comments? There must be something better for him to say.
No, you're the one that does throwaway lines.
All right, better for him to say. We're about to change gears. Let Glenn finish this thought, and then we're moving to our audience questions.
Has done this little debate tactic like 8 times. I've listened to it for 2 hours. So if you say this person did this and it's wrong, and then someone else says, well, what about this person, this politician you love? He did the same thing. Destiny says, oh, you're admitting that both of them did something wrong. No, one of the reasons why you say things like the Black Lives Matter protest was never considered an insurrection is not to say that January 6th was also an insurrection and therefore you should treat the Black Lives Matter one like an insurrection. The point is to say the Black Lives Matter wasn't treated like an insurrection because people like Ed and Destiny and Brian love the Black Lives Matter movement because it's unaligned with their ideology. These are liberals who hate the Trump movement politically and therefore want to criminalize it. But pointing to other examples,
I'm against all rioting, just to be clear.
Isn't admitting that that the one that you start with is wrong. You're just trying to show that you're not applying consistent principles when your ideology is at stake.
If that was the case, then when you're accused of defending a coup, then you argue why it's not a coup. That's how the argument works. If somebody says, I think that Trump engaged in a coup,
one of the ways that you show that it's not a coup is by saying that the things that you like that are done that are far more insurrectionary are things you won't call an insurrection because
the bottom line is if anybody with a working brain is willing to have a conversation, January 6th happened because they wanted it to happen. Black Lives Matter riots happened because they wanted it to happen. If you put enough people in place and enough security in place to stop these things from happening, they will not happen. Trump offered local support with the National Guard to the states that were the cities that were being burned down. The local Democratic leadership refused that help because they wanted it to happen. January 6th, Trump talked to Nancy Pelosi, requested these things. They refused it. This was all a setup.
ZeroHedge.com. I mean, we can, if you guys want to go in circles and yell over each other for another 10 minutes, I don't want to do it. I want to go to these comments. But the
I bet there was a 6'3" Marine, ex-Marine that told you to
Thanks,
shut it
dude.
down.
Thanks, dude. Shut it down.
No, but I mean, listen. This is the heart of it. Coups are militaries seizing the telecommunications and the government institutions and killing their opposition.
You could do lots of different
If Trump was going to do that, I would be against. Trump did not do that. A bunch of fucking people being led into the Capitol is not a freaking coup, man.
It's an electronic coup, you know. But let's go on. These are from ZeroHedge.com from some of the premium users of the website have sent in some of the questions. This one's actually a question for what they call the blue team, which right now is going to be the three of you guys, Ed, Brian, and Stephen. The question is. The New York Times acknowledged that there were FBI informants in the Capitol on January 6th, and then they give a link to the New York Times article. Given the agency's history of entrapment, is it a stretch that some agents may have provoked the riot? And then there's a follow-up question. Why was law enforcement so ill-prepared for the insurrection, in quotes, despite the presence of informants? So the first part of the question is it a stretch that some agents may have provoked the riot?
So informants are something the FBI has been using for years, decades. Is it illegal? No. They can do it as long as they do it within the legal means. If an informant is in the Capitol breaking the law, that doesn't mean that the FBI is behind it. Informants are also people who live their lives. Like, I could be an informant for FBI. I could go and murder somebody. That doesn't mean the FBI had me murder that person. So I think there's a lot of misinformation there that gets conflated with facts.
Well, so would you say that Donald Trump could have supporters, but if one of his supporters wearing a MAGA hat did something, that doesn't mean Donald Trump is responsible? Would you use the same logic when it comes to Trump? Because you guys keep saying Trump is responsible because a person in a red MAGA hat did something, which you just disproved that entire argument with what you said. Fuck, I wish I was sitting there.
If I had to guess, I'd say Southern Poverty Law Center.
If Ray Epps set them up, why isn't a single other person there attested to that?
Out of the
if he whispered into people's
250,000.
ears, if he was leading breach teams, why didn't any of the arrested? Why didn't a single person come out? I'm asking why. I'm asking this though. The next reasonable question: why isn't a single person come out and testify?
Because we exposed him. Because he's the leader there. And he's there doing it. He did it on video. He said, I led this. I did this.
You're not answering my question. I'm saying, why hasn't anyone else come out and attested to this? Not a single person.
You know what an orchestra is, right? I
went to school for music. Yeah.
The conductor leads the symphony.
Yep. So and all the musicians have to see the conductor and would tell you, that's my conductor.
And he says, go into the Capitol.
Why doesn't anybody else say, that was my conductor?
You know, the follow-up part of this question, why do you guys think law enforcement was so ill-prepared for the insurrection, again in quotes, despite the presence of informants? This is from Space Worm, just so you know, Space Worm from ZeroHedge.
Well, half of them were sent away for crowd control.
I think the ill-preparedness came because Trump's deployment of the National Guard in the past, especially in D.C., had caused a lot of people to be uncomfortable with National Guard being present in the Capitol when the certification of what was happening. So as they were having conversations prior to establishing security, I think they took a lot of extraordinary bureaucratic measures to make it so that I think that day, if the National Guard was going to be deployed, it either had to be, I think, Miller or Walker. I think one of those two had to be the direct authorization.
Let me respond briefly.
Which is novel.
Alex
is thinking
the same thing as me. 1 hour ago saying Trump never called for National Guard, and you just said they refused it. I got your ass.
So when the National Guard was deployed, the only area that they were allowed to do.
They blocked it.
Yep.
The Pentagon blocked Trump.
Yes.
You just admitted Trump wanted it and didn't get it.
You got me. They only deployed 340 people, and
the clip from an hour ago. He said it wasn't
That's
true.
right. You got me.
Got him.
That's right.
Got him. You want to do
scope of the mission? The scope of the mission. Rhetoric like this is why Ashley Babbitt got shot. You realize that, right?
I'm gonna get shot?
No, people like Ashley Babbitt died because of people like you driving people onto this, right? It might be funny for you. I don't know if it's funny
murdered
for them.
Ashley Babbitt?
You're more or less responsible with this kind of talk. Yes.
Oh my God, I'm murdering.
Yes. Play in a factual world.
You
At
love
least,
the
tie yourself.
No,
Destiny's mad now.
You said an hour ago that Trump never asked for National Guard. I can show 50 articles. It's on record. And then you just admitted it. Gotcha.
Guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
340 people were authorized to be there, but in order to actually call them to the it was an extraordinary process. So when you read the J6 committee in the Situation Room and Sund and everybody else complaining, where's the National Guard? Where's the National Guard? There was a whole bunch of stupid bureaucratic red tape and optics concerns that people had to cut through to get them there. So if you believe the official story and the 15 to 20 people
1 hour ago he said Trump never won National Guard. Now Trump wanted it, but he didn't get it for a good reason.
We're talking. Okay, so Alex, so you're claiming that this is staged.
Alex
You're
is
claiming
so
the
happy.
FBI was behind it. In 2019, you
Like the Gulf of Tonkin.
No, you specifically said, I almost had like a form of psychosis where I thought everything was staged. So do you still have that psychosis?
Well, I said almost a form.
So do you almost still have that form of
You asked
psychosis?
a question. Let me quote it for you. That's out of a larger context about when you were lied to.
In a court deposition.
You're not. I said a larger context of deposition.
About Sandy Hook.
Which is a larger.
Because you said you called Sandy Hook's a hoax and you said it was fake because of this.
Sure. So you let me talk now?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I said a larger context, which is a larger 5 hours, 8 hour deposition, right? Okay. So I just told the truth. I said a larger context. I'm explaining that the public's been lied to so much, there's a major loss in confidence where people then don't believe anything they're told, and that's dangerous.
That's not what you said. That's not the context you said.
That's actually.
That's not the context you said it.
I know what I said.
But I read it. I read the deposition.
So put the full thing out.
I don't have it with me, but I read it.
The point is, stop.
Somebody Google it.
You're scared to let me talk?
No, go ahead.
So that's a whole nother PR firm thing, things out of context to blow that stuff up. All that
PR firm is telling you what you say in court under oath?
You're not.
We got to let Alex finish the short question, and then we're going to go back to the user's question.
I mean, Madeleine Albright told Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes, I ordered 500,000 children killed because I thought it was a good thing to do. I'd do it again. She's a great person. I question Jussie Smollett. I question WMDs in Iraq. I question everything, and I'm proud of everything I've done, and all that stuff is PR firm garbage. When I talk about the general public, because the media lies about almost everything, loses trust in anything, that creates a general form of psychosis, and it's very dangerous. I talk about that every day on my show. And Joe Rogan just last week said, you know, Alex Jones isn't totally right, but he means to be right. He's more informative than CNN. They lie on purpose, and the public has lost trust in the system. That's dangerous. What do you do? So that was the full discussion. Let me give you another example. They say in court, Jones in a custody battle said, I'm an actor. Everything I say is fake. I've offered a $1 million reward for that. I didn't say that. They wanted to put, like now, a 15-year-old video. Back then, it was like a 9-year-old video of me as the Joker saying all these horrible things. Take drugs, kids, you'll die. It's great. So kids wouldn't take drugs. It's reverse psychology. Okay. And then, hold on. They wanted to introduce that in court. And my lawyer said when Jack Nicholson plays the Joker, he's not really the Joker. And when Alex Jones is in Waking Life or Scanner Darkly or any of this stuff, when he's being an actor it's not what he really means. In the scope of when I'm...
Are you being an actor now?
No, see...
How do we know? How do we know? How do you know?
See,
Maybe you
so
saw psychosis.
disingenuous.
See, that's the game you're
so
playing.
Disingenuous.
No, I'm not playing a game. I'm serious.
I am
99... Psychosis is a serious problem.
No, when I'm on this show, this is Alex Jones, the analyst, Alex Jones, the pundit.
Well,
Alex
we'll
Jones
get to you in a moment.
covering...
Yeah, Glenn's about to jump in.
I have talked to Alex Jones in private. Alex Jones is authentic as hell. It's 100% bullshit. I know the point he's trying to make. Alex Jones is legit.
What was it? 4 weeks ago or so? And you tried to claim that you didn't push the Sandy Hook conspiracy theory.
Excuse me.
We're getting a field here.
I'm basing this on the.
Why are you bringing this?
This is a field. This is not in the scope of the discussion.
Yeah, we really got to stick to the question.
Focus on the user's question.
You lied in that space. You did push it. You did say that it was fake. You did. I have the quote right here. Let me read the quote. The whole
okay. Ed, we're done. We're done. Glenn, I want to hear from Glenn. Glenn's about to speak.
But I got to say this right now. Let me finish. I said in the context of everything I've done, I wasn't deplatformed for questioning a school shooting. They dredged that up afterwards, and I barely ever talked about it. It wasn't even on our radar.
But you said it was fake.
No, if I'm on the air...
You said after examining it for a year, you found that it was fake. That's what.
All right, you know what? That's it. We're done with this fucking conversation. We're moving on to the user questions. As told, Glenn, you had something to say? Glenn, please.
I want to say that we are out of time here because it's been 3 hours, but I did just want to say I do think that attack on Alex is a bullshit attack. We are here because we want to talk about January 6th. We want to talk about whether
we're talking about something.
And to try and make it about Alex when there are 6 people here presenting all kinds of evidence that you're not equipped to deal with, I think it's just a pathetic way to try and end this debate. And the last thing I want to say is it's really given like a kind of amazingly vivid mindset into the minds of Trump-era liberals who have really come to see the U.S. security state and the courts and prosecutors as their political allies in their war that they're waging against people who disagree with them. And they have this like very romanticized view of what the FBI is, what the DOJ is, how the court systems work, how the federal government works. And all of this reveals this so well because what's happening here is so manifest, which is that all of these agencies are being abused because the Trump movement is considered the gravest threat to establishment power in this country, which is why the bipartisan establishment is against it. To try and make this about Alex and Sandy Hook is a really pathetic way to end the debate. I think you guys have done a good job defending your views. I think you should leave it at that. And we definitely have to go because it's been 3 hours. And
well, we're not done. We're going to keep talking with some questions. No, not right now.
Can I answer the user's question?
Yeah, I would love to, but give me 1 second. The only reason I scream is because I don't have a mute button for the people right now. I would prefer not to have to use my voice.
I think you did a great job, Ian.
Thank you.
And
I think Glenn needs to go. We'll stay. Glenn, give us a 3-minute closing comment. All I'm trying to say is I didn't launch any wars. I didn't lie about WMDs. And to bring that in is
there was a point to it though. His point was just that if you were lying about that, or if you had psychosis about that, how do we know that that's not coming about? Half the show we talked about.
I did not say feds. I had psychosis.
Half of the show we talked about feds, and you.
No, I talked to. If you look at the full clip of the transcript,
we talked about things.
I said there's a group. There's a larger lie when we're lied to and lose trust. Then out of that, when no one knows what's true, it creates a lot of problems.
So the reason I went back to that is because in that Twitter space, you said that you didn't push it. You said that you just regurgitated other people's information. And that's not true. Because you told
No, that's not true. I want to shut this down. Okay. So I want to move to the next thing. It's not that I'm scared of this. I'm sick of it. I didn't make my bones on this. I barely ever talked about it.
I wanted to correct that wasn't true.
22 minutes in these court cases over a decade. 22 minutes, dude. No, I didn't. That's not what I'm doing. You guys bring it up. And fine. Hey, Madeleine Albright said she killed 500,000 kids. She'd do it again. I killed no kids.
Come on, guys. This is cheap as fuck. Let's talk about what the people are paying. They have questions. They want to. We have some
Nobody cares about this.
Glenn says he wants to leave. I love Glenn Greenwald.
But
no one's
gone.
Glenn's going to be forced turning out with.
All right, so those two brothers, by the way, those Crantonson brothers or whatever their names are, they are literally the definition of disingenuous. Everything they do is meant to just create fake outrage and controversy. It's what they do on Twitter. They don't believe in any of the shit that they're saying. They're just there to get interactions and drive interactions, especially now because they're able to get paid off of Twitter. They were literally Trump reply guys is all they ever were when they were on Twitter before they got banned. They are bad faith to the definition of it. And if you saw the smirk in their faces when they finally got reeled in on that just now, they had a smirk because they got exactly what they wanted.
An extensive conversation.
And to be fair, why the fuck is anybody giving, like, don't give these fucking guys your platform. They have a big enough platform as it is. They're just there to troll you. I wouldn't let these guys on my channel. Fuck those pieces of shit. They can have their platform. They can talk. They can have their hundreds of thousands of followers, and they can talk to the crazy lunatic leftists that follow them all day long. But those pieces of shit, they are garbage. They have always been garbage.
Persecuted by the government. Why? Because when he was approached by JTTF agents in December of 2020 to recruit him as an informant, he recorded the exchange and the encounter and put it out there on the internet. The JTTF agent said, there's something going to happen in January. We want you to be an informant for us. We know that there were several influencers, including Milo, who parlored, or whatever the tweet version is for Parler, put out a message on January 5th saying, I was just approached by federal agents. Whatever they have planned on the 6th is huge. Don't go there. That's just a number of examples. Oh, yeah. And there was Donnell Harvin. He was the head of the Homeland Security Office for the DC Fusion Center. His predictions were remarkably specific and accurate. His office came up with the idea that we need to have body bags. We need to focus on the Capitol at 1 o'clock. Specifically, we need to be concerned with explosive planted on side streets that could serve a diversionary effect, therefore allowing for an attack on the Capitol. These are just some of the highlights of examples of the government being in a position to know in advance what was going on. And it wasn't just that there was an ordinary level of security at the Capitol, which is inconceivable when you think of the fact that there was a major proceeding there, that Trump was there giving a speech. Ordinarily, there would be threat assessments, which there weren't. It's not just that there was ordinary level of security. There is a uniquely absent security on that day, uniquely poor security on a day with a major certification proceeding, on a day in which President Trump was there to give a...
Look, it's really simple, okay? It's really simple. These are not complicated things. And I wish somebody on this panel would bring this up, because if you're arguing, for the fact that J6 is a nonsensical situation that was a clear setup, let's just take me, for example. Very small fry in the big scheme of things, okay? I have set up events for Geeks and Gamers. We've had hundreds of people show up to these events. I take security extremely important at our events, and I will spend an ungodly amount of money to make sure that people that come to our event that we are running and we are sponsoring know that they are safe. I pay for undercover security, I pay for upfront security, and I pay for off-duty police officers to be there to have their police cars parked out front to set a tone. And that is all to make sure that I am making everyone aware we're not going to play any fucking games here. Nobody is going to come play any fucking games. If you set a tone, then nothing is going to happen. And if something does, God forbid, happen, it will get neutralized very fucking quickly. This is why security is important. We have soldiers. We have retired police officers. We could be paying them the money that we're sending to Ukraine to guard each and every fucking school in the country right now. There's people out there that are qualified that can do it, and we can protect our fucking schools and all of these children. But the government doesn't want to fucking do that because they need their anti-gun narrative bullshit every time a tragedy happens. Fuck them.
significant backlash to that within the judicial system. So even given how much it's rigged now, it's additionally rigged when it comes to those specific types of defenses because they're so subversive to the larger narrative that the government's trying to promote.
Why wouldn't McCarthy put any Republicans on the J6 committee then and investigate this?
Well, McCarthy isn't exactly someone who's aggressively interested in pursuing the truth on this either.
Okay, why not appoint like a special counsel?
And so my overall point there is that on January 6th, if they didn't want people going into the Capitol, they could have prevented this. If they wanted to make it go away quickly, they could have made it go away quickly. Same with the BLM riots. That's it.
Going on.
So doesn't it suck then that like you can provide absolutely no smoking guns?
I provided a ton of evidence. No smoking guns. I provided overwhelming evidence.
You have not provided evidence for anything. You've given
You've
given a lot of stories, and now you've got an escape for every single way that you might actually discover what happened. Congress would never hold them accountable. McCarthy.
I've been long a proponent for an investigative committee, but not the sham J6 committee.
Well, they tried. They tried doing
the J6 committee is total sham.
Why is the J6 committee a sham?
Well, you really want to hear a good faith answer to that? Why it's partisan? Well, let's start with Benny Thompson. Now,
no, I know the people on it were all partisan. That's true, but that's because McCarthy. But that's because McCarthy wouldn't put forth his nominees after Pelosi said no to 2 of 5.
Well,
why didn't
first
he put
of all,
forth 2
I
other
think
ones?
Those 2 should have been allowed.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking why didn't McCarthy put forth 2 other ones?
Because he didn't want to legitimize a process that was totally illegitimate.
So how convenient for you then that now we can also say the entire J6 committee
no,
that
it's
has
not
hundreds
convenient.
It is
It's not convenient for me.
None of the evidence we can point to
for
is
the regime.
No,
it's convenient for the regime not to have a legitimate and disinterested fact-finding commission to truly get to the bottom of the real questions that matter in relation to January 6th.
But there is no disinterested fact-finding. You guys say Comey was biased, even though he was a lifelong Republican. You say Raffensperger was biased, even though he was a lifelong Republican. You guys say that Barr was biased, even though he's been a lifelong Trump supporter and a Republican. You say Wray is biased. Like every single person you can. So then there are no unbiased fact-finders.
I didn't say there are none, but the specific names you mentioned, absolutely.
How about William Barr?
And
is he biased?
How about
So all these Trump appointees, he made terrible appointments. Ever to hire people, right? That's
I didn't say that's not my contention here.
Who would be able to investigate this?
I think there are some people who could. I think Jim Jordan who could.
Jim Jordan would be your example of an unbiased party.
Jim Jordan was literally part of the investigation.
I would say for there to be a legitimate committee, it would have to include people who are genuinely interested in pursuing not only the questions that Benny Thompson and the hyper-partisan Democrats wanted to find out, but people who are sympathetic to the other side who would be willing to pursue the questions that I've raised and have been raised that were not addressed at all in the committee because all they were interested in was demonizing Trump and setting up a criminal proceeding for Trump. They weren't interested in getting to the bottom of the questions. Why was there uniquely poor security? What was going on with the level of federal infiltration?
These questions are all asked as part of the. It's an 847-page report. I invite you to read it at some point.
No.
The reality is that McCarthy at any point could have put 5 Republicans that he chose on that committee, but because Nancy Pelosi said no to 2 of them, I think Banks and Jordan that were actively being investigated or would have been the subjects of the J6 committee. He said no to anything, and now we get to say it was all a sham, even though the majority of the people interviewed were Republicans. Even though, as was stated earlier, every single person near
banking a lot
Trump
on the Republican issue, but it shouldn't be a surprise to you. Many Republicans, institutional apparatus of the party, is not necessarily friendly to Trump. There are many Republicans that are hostile to Trump.
If every single person in government, if every Republican, if every Democrat, if every judge, if every person in the United States that is in Trump's peripheral ends up hating Trump or not wanting to work with Trump, at what point do you say?
We're not saying every.
At what point you are?
At what point?
At what point do you just say?
I've been gone for 10 minutes.
Maybe the problem. No, you can't just run back and you're cutting me off. Okay.
No,
at what point can we not say maybe Trump was actually genuinely a horrible person?
No, if people that are historically, if career politicians and people in Washington don't like Trump, I consider that the best thing imaginable for Trump.
It should be the #1 campaign issue.
Oh, wow, not inflation, not open borders, not human smuggling.
You had a president try to circumvent the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in U.S. history.
This actually takes me to the next question. This is going to be our final question.
Trump's not been convicted of anything.
This is a question
not yet.
from let's see, Fred C. And the question is, will Destiny address, quote, is white supremacy the biggest domestic threat faced by the United States? And I open it up to the panel after you give an answer there, Stephen.
Domestic threat? I don't know how the FBI judges domestic threat. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a lot of crossover with like white supremacy groups and then being like organized like a domestic threat. But my guess would be domestic threats in the U.S. is probably fairly low to the total security of the U.S. So I don't really care that much about it. I don't know.
But that's the official policy is white supremacism is #1 threat.
What is that? That's not a policy. That's a statement.
No, that's an executive order in June of 2021 put out by the
What are the negative policy choices or what are the bad things that are happening because of that declaration?
They try to skew crime numbers. They say everything is that. I mean, this is like a major
they say
deal.
Skew crime numbers say everything is that. What do you mean? Do we not count crime by black people anymore? Didn't we just get all of the hate crimes against
says the
Asian
#1
people?
crime is white people.
They say the #1 crime is white people.
But they do it statistically by manipulating the numbers, yeah.
I don't think the FBI is in charge of manipulating the numbers.
The FBI is not involved in crime statistics?
I didn't say involved in crime statistics. I'm pretty sure you can go to the federal there's a name for the site
Destiny,
that has like
I don't believe you're like
everything.
hiding under a rock somewhere. You've got to know he gave a speech for an hour yesterday saying the MAGA people are terrorists and are about to take over. I mean, you don't know. You just said it's good that Biden is running on January 6th.
I think January 6th is a huge deal. Yes, the president trying to circumvent the peaceful transfer of power is a really big issue.
And that's why he can't be allowed to be voted for.
No, that's not why. He's not allowed to be voted for because Section 3 of the 14th Amendment says that if you have been a prior oath taker and you have been engaged in rebellion or insurrection, you're not allowed to run for office again.
We have to be clear about what's really happening. The standard Democrat voter, these people don't care about the so-called insurrection. That's not Biden's audience. Biden's audience is to speak in support of this phony legal theory that's being served as a pretext to remove him from the ballots. And therefore, in the defense of democracy.
I agree. He's trying to rally the deep state, saying Trump's going to persecute us and arrest us if we don't stop him because they've committed all these crimes.
So I mean, fact is the Supreme Court's looking at it. They actually decided to take the case. So it doesn't matter what any of us think. The Supreme Court's going to rule on it. And I think, whatever they decide is what we're going to live with.
Well, let me ask this. What happens if Trump gets reelected?
What do you mean what happens?
Well, what do you think? They've still got criminal investigations, criminal trials.
Oh, so you mean if he gets reelected before being sentenced, if he is convicted? Yeah. I think he just takes over being president. He'll pardon himself or give the presidency.
And I don't. He didn't persecute his political opposition when he was in. I don't think he's going to try to do that.
He asked Barr to investigate Hillary. I mean,
quite the opposite. Trump's own bureaucracies were undermining him.
Well,
it's far from him using the bureaucracies to go after others. His own bureaucracies were circumventing his own president.
Well, that happened with Biden as well, wasn't it?
But everyone can see.
No, call me doing the investigation on Hillary's emails
after Trump.
No?
Yeah, Hillary's emails.
Yeah, Hillary's emails was under Biden, right?
What about the Hunter Biden investigation?
There's no acknowledgement there? Yeah.
Hunter Biden investigation. That's Biden's DOJ.
Hunter Biden, he was convicted on the grind.
And that's because the Democrats want him to step down for Newsom.
Oh my God, there's a reason why. Yeah,
the debate.
There's always
so
a
now the Democrats don't want Biden to step down. That's admitted.
There's an explanation for everything.
Who are the Democrats?
The debate continues.
No, the dominant Democratic Party wants Biden to step down. It's been all over the news, and they're putting pressure on him to do it. You're saying that's made up?
He's not going to step down. That's not.
How does he step down? Because you still need to have a primary.
No, you don't. And it's past the deadline.
He's frozen out the other candidates in his primary.
The deadline has passed. So if he was to step down right now, Harris would likely be who the nominee would be.
Well,
it's too late for Newsom. Like he'd miss out on several states. Go ahead.
We've really
answered that question.
We've hammered that one right to the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is coming to a close. ZeroHedge, thank you so much for putting this debate on, and everybody on the panel, man. Darren Beatty, Alex Jones, Steve Bonnell, Brian Krasicki, Krasicki, Glenn Greenwald.
Tell us about your show, what you do.
I'm the co-host of Timcast IRL on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Tim Pool. It's a blast. We talk about technology, politics,
and
culture.
Darren, you?
Yep, my website is revolver.news. We broke a lot of these January 6th stories.
All right, so that's coming to a close, ladies and gentlemen. As the chat requested, I watched a lot of nonsense. We are going to let Alex Jones get his plug in because he's Alex fucking Jones and he's the man. Well, it's not playing.
And then I do 7 days a week live on air, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. weekdays. Saturday, we do special reports different times. Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. Infowars.com/show. Now, Real Alex Jones back on what was Twitter, now X. And we're here. We're fighting hard. We're promoting freedom. And we want everybody to tune in and see what we're doing.
Tell me about your day, Steven. What do you do?
We don't care about Destiny. Fuck him. So we're going to call it a day right there. All right. So again, that was really unexpected. I really was not expecting to do that, but it was, I don't know if I can call it fun. It was interesting. Again, I don't typically, if it wasn't for Alex Jones, I would not have watched that. It's because Alex Jones is genuinely one of the most entertaining human beings on the planet. And that's what made that worth watching. Alex Jones, that's it. Everybody else is mega cringe and not worth watching at all. Okay, this was supposed to be a super chat square up and it's turned into something else. I've got another stream that I'm supposed to be on in 40 minutes, but let's read through tonight's super chats. So you guys are crazy, man. You guys are crazy. Celluloid Dream says late and insurrectionist fig. Dragon Dance says happy Ashley Babbitt Day. K-Road says it's a new year and a new era for the 199. So for the love of all that's holy, can we get some retro gaming up in here? That's what Cobra 199 is for. Eric K, do you want to drop a link to the Cobra 199 stream? And I'll pin that. And again, I'm here. I'm not going away right this second. So don't think I'm ending right now because I'm not. I'm just saying I got some other stuff to get to later. Coalee says, my stomach is committing January 6th against me. Please send help. Sorry to hear that, Coalee. All right. Krista, do you have the Google Drive pulled up? Because I'm going to...
Yes. I'm going to send you the link to it.
I've already got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah. Everyone say hello to Krista Nova. Is MCU fan here? MCU fan may or may not be here, Krista. I'm not sure. I'm sure he will be here once he hears if you're here. The Tribal Chief says, God bless President Trump. He said he will protect Christians. We need to stand by him 100%. Agreed. River Miles for 20 says, why do Destiny and his squad always sound like they have a dick in their mouth when they talk? Let's see. JM the Elite Fan on Rumble. And we've got a lot of Rumble rants tonight, and I appreciate you guys over on Rumble. Let's all come together and remember January 6th as the day Constantine was crowned the last emperor of the Byzantine Empire. I don't know how you say that. Byzantine Empire. And Samuel Colt obtained his first contract and revolver sales. R.I.P. Thank you, JM, the Elite Fan. And then Drenal Dwelly says, J6, I just call it my birthday. Hail 199. Fuck these commies. The Tribal Chief says, you should do a live reaction to the Jonathan Majors interview on Monday. I think that's going to be cringy as hell. All right. I think that's going to be cringy as hell. Let's see. JM the Elite Fan says, Destiny and the Krankensteins, how do you say that? Kranzenstein twins are perfect examples of why you can't compromise or debate the opposite side. They'll lie and gaslight through their teeth to maintain the self-righteous superiority. Well, I mean, if you just like, the only way I know who these guys are is because they were always reply guys on Twitter to Trump. And I don't remember why they got banned from Twitter. I have no idea why they got banned from Twitter the first time. And then they got brought back by Elon Musk. But if you look at what they post, everything they post is meant to get a reaction. They're looking to get quote tweets and retweets and reactions. Everything they post is disingenuous. Everything. And again, if that's their game, that's fine. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they're not allowed to do it. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But it's just about how I wouldn't, like, they're always end up on, like, they were on the Twitter Spaces with Elon Musk multiple times. They get on all these big time Twitter Spaces. I'm like, who's giving these weirdos a platform? Like, they have their own platform. But why? They're just terrible, terrible, terrible people. River Miles says Destiny's wife left him for his boyfriend. Yeah, Destiny. So for people that don't know. Like, Destiny is this, I guess he's a left-wing guy. He's always trying to debate and argue with people. He's got this whole thing with his girlfriend, and he was like, I guess there was reports that he was a cuck. I don't know if it's true. I don't really pay attention to Destiny. There's a whole laundry list of things that Destiny's accused of. But I do know he has a severe case of TDS. River Mile says, is Destiny's Child really Destiny's Child? If Destiny is a cuck? Maybe, maybe not. JM the Elite fan for 10. Fun fact, FBI and CIA are constitutionally illegal. U.S. Marshals is the sole federal law enforcement to have been created through legislation and signed into law per constitutional procedure. Well, that's the thing is, like, when you get into these debates, like, if I'm sitting across from a guy who has TDS and I'm obviously a Trump supporter, like, we're going to argue our points and we're going to believe our points just as we began the debate. So I like to talk to people who's willing to have a conversation. I'm not really interested to have a conversation with somebody who's just absolutely not interested in anything other than Trump is the worst human being that's ever existed. So, Al Malone for 50 says, I love and want to support Trump, but if the Dems forfeited 2020, how do you know they're not going to do it again? Nothing has changed with how votes are counted or verified as legitimate. And who cares if they get caught? They'll just get bailed out. I mean, it's a fair question, Al, and I appreciate that. As I've said many times, I think the most realistic way to look at this, and again, it's the most realistic way I can look at this, is that I don't think, based on right here, right now, all right, based on this moment right here, right now, because we don't know what they're going to come up with like COVID or anything like that, but based on where we are at this particular time, 10 months away from the election, I think Jack Posobiec said it best, where Trump is pulling ahead of the margin of fraud. And what I mean by that is that the momentum is so massive for Trump, and there's so many people that have become so fed up with the Biden administration. The country's in such bad shape. Inflation is terrible. Gas prices are awful. Home prices are terrible. The economy is a disaster. Our overseas situation, everything with the wars going on, no one has faith in America. The Democrats have lost all of that ability to fake that things are the way that they want to present them. So that's where and again, we're talking realistically, that's the most realistic scenario I can come up with, is that Trump support, and of course, indicting Trump 4 times, and raiding Mar-a-Lago, and just all the stuff that they're trying to kick him off ballots. All of these things are helping Trump. And so the momentum for Trump and the negativity towards the Democrats and Biden, they couldn't be on more polar opposite sides right now. So that's why I feel like that the avalanche is going to be so strong that they can't overcome it from that perspective. That's my take on it for now. And ultimately just vote away. Vote. That's all you can do. Drew and Charlie says, Destiny needs the words Devil's Advocate tattooed on his forehead. He makes semantic arguments when he knows what is true. Yeah, I haven't watched him a whole lot, so I know of him. I don't know a lot about him. And by the way, Brock, thank you for the $50 gifted memberships, you mad lad. Lover of Green dropped some gifted memberships. Dom dropped some gifted memberships. You guys are crazy, man. John Yarber says, I'm ready for the purge. Destiny is a POS. Ronan the Crusader says, go back to crying about your wife, Destiny. Oh shit, where'd it go? JM the Elite fan says, slight clarification on the last rant. CIA was created by presidential directive in 1946 as the Central Intelligence Group, but affirmed by National Security Act of 1947. FBI never had such legal act. Noted, JM the Elite fan. Dara Mouse says, shout out to Mr. 30 Below. Welcome to the Rumble side. Yeah, Rumble, man. The Rumble peeps are really gaining some momentum, man. You guys are, it's kind of like, I like the battle. I like the battle between the YouTube chat and the Rumble chat. It's It's our own version of the Monday Night Wars, WCW versus WWF. That's what I feel like we got going on here. And we're going to try I'm going to try to do something different than this, because I think that we need both chats on screen, but I've got to rework this because this isn't going to work. I don't like this per se, but I'm going to work on getting dueling chats. For now, I'll leave it up for a few minutes. Let's see if you guys like it. Ghost Crusaders TV says Destiny keeps making faces every time Alex talks. He did. That's true. Destiny looked like he was taking a shit every time Alex was talking. Like he is going to do something. He's not about that life. If he was, his wife wouldn't have left him for Ezra Miller looking twink. The tribal chief says, what game consoles do you have? I have pretty much every gaming console. I mean, currently, if you want to talk about current gen, obviously I have a PlayStation 5. I have an Xbox One series, or Xbox Series X. Is that what it's called? The new one? I can't remember. I have the latest Xbox. I can't remember what their stupid names. And obviously I have a Nintendo Switch. If you want to talk about retro consoles, I have almost every retro console, including a TurboGrafx 16. So yeah, I've got quite a few video game consoles. Some are here in Orlando, some are in Pensacola, but I have a lot of video game consoles, a lot. And by the way, every CobraCast in 2024 has broken 2,000 plus viewers over on YouTube. Rumble numbers are all over 200. We are rocking and rolling, peeps. I appreciate you guys being here. CobraCast is really ranked up in the last, since the new year started, essentially. We've really ranked up. So it's exciting to see. And we are over on Kick. So just to keep that in mind, I do stream CobraCast to Kick. We don't have the most viewers over there on Kick right now, but I think we will build that following up as well. Mar Quad for 50 says also the Mar-a-Lago raid. Here, let me see here. Pull this up. If I can find it right here on Kick. So just to keep my desktop audio kicked in. All right. Marquand says also the Mar-a-Lago raid, Trump indictments, and taking Trump off the ballot means Democrats don't believe they can pull off another 2020. That is a great point, actually. That's a phenomenal point, because really, if you look at the Democrats and how they've been acting, they do seem extremely, extremely nervous right now. And again, that's why they've done all the things that they've done. They really do think they're in trouble, because they are in trouble. Like, they really are in trouble. Everything matters. Elon Musk buying Twitter matters. I think Elon Musk buying Twitter is a massive, massive, massive shift. And it can't be understated how big of a deal that is. It's massive. Now, I still think that Trump should be on Twitter. And again, will I get to... Do you call it X or Twitter? I'm curious, chat. Do you call it X or do you call it Twitter? I'm going to put a poll in the chat, all right? Do you call it Twitter or X? I still call it Twitter. I've noticed more and more people are calling it X, but I still call it Twitter. So there it is right there. Twitter or X. What do you call it? What do you call it? There's the poll right there in the chat. I still call it Twitter all the time. And it's not even that I'm trying to. It's just that's just what I call it. You know what I mean? Mark Wad says, a happy Ashley Babbitt day. Say her name, leftards. Thanks for having a special CobraCast today, Commander. Hail the 199. Thank you so much. Maticus Finch says, Jeremy Trump is live on Right Side Broadcasting. That was earlier. I don't know if he's still alive, but obviously we reacted to the debate. Joe C. Pureblood says, the word Civil War keeps being thrown out there. Make no mistake, if this does go hot, it will be a revolutionary war, not a civil war. Cheers, y'all. Personally, as I've said, I believe I know that like the Tim Pool kind of like, hyping up the Civil War thing. If we're just gonna I think we're already in a civil war. We already are in a civil war. That's the truth of the matter. We already are in a civil war. And it's not the civil war that you would think that would be happening. It's the information war. it's the social media war. They've literally locked, or they've tried to put Trump in jail now 4 different times. They're taking him off ballots. They're banning people. There are words that I am not allowed to say on this platform right now. There are words that I can't say right now because YouTube has made it clear that we will take you down if you say certain words. That just is. That's just how it is. I couldn't say retard on Twitter until Elon bought it. I mean, that's how crazy it is. So anyway, we pretty much are. Aaron Alexander, the Mad Shogun, says, 1, someone pimp slapped Destiny. 2, current is similar to the backstory of the TTRPG that I'm developing. That in itself is scary. Noted. Westward Smile says, why is it that people protesting the actual people that make decisions are charged, but people burning private businesses, Destiny's, then charged, but people burning private businesses. Destiny's wife is getting blown out. The Destiny's wife joke is crazy, dude. Let's see here. Bam. All right. Westward Smile says, debate me, bro. Pryor says, waste of time to watch 2 figs spewing their BS. The Bob that God made mad says, cuckery is, where did it go? Damn it, it jumped on me. Let's see. I can't even find it now. Eric K says, the soy is strong with these guys. Slain Hope. So that dude pulling the fire alarm, it was a coup. Yeah. Al Malone for 5. So shout out to Alex Jones for carrying enough testosterone for the whole room. Dude, Alex Jones is one of those guys that just, Alex Jones has that kind of energy that few people have. You know what I mean? He commands the room when he's in it. It's just him. He's the most dominant personality there. And few people have that ability, but Alex Jones has that ability. No doubt about that. 50 Shades of Grayson says, that little motor mouth boy has all the autism. Bill Herb says, even if it's not the president himself, Capitol Police was not letting people in, or Capitol Police was letting people in. That alone makes it an inside job. I mean, I think you guys have seen it, right? But I think it's necessary to show one more time. So let me see if I can find it. To me, I think this is it.
I assume you've...
Hang on, that's not it. It's the greatest video ever. And it really is amazing. And it's from Steven Voiceover Guy. Yeah, here we go. I think. Where's the Steven Voiceover? Steven Voiceover has the best video on J6. See, I may have to search him out. I know you guys have seen it, but it's truly phenomenal. And here it is.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, here we go. This is the greatest video of all time right here. Here we go.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the U.S. Capitol building. If you've joined us today for the insurrection, please make sure you pick up a promotional leaflet on the way in, stay inside the safety cordons at all times, and if you get lost, speak to one of our Capitol Police officers. They'll be sure to point you in the right direction. And be sure to set aside a little time today to join us for some insurrection activities, including our photography tour, our fancy dress competition, and have a go on our climbing wall. But don't forget those safety ropes. And I've now received the results of our fancy dress competition. The winner today is Jacob Chansley. That's Mr. Jacob Chansley. If you could report to your nearest Capitol Police officer, they'll be sure to give you your prize, a guided tour of the building. And all that's left is for me to thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the insurrection. Wherever possible, please try to clean up after yourselves. Don't forget to visit the souvenir shop on the way out, and feel free to join us on the outdoor terrace for Nancy Pelosi's Insurrection Soiree. Grab yourself a light refreshment and enjoy the music of our very own fancy dress competition winner.
So good. So good. That is from Steven voiceover right here. Steven is fantastic. So he's great, man. He's great. So make sure you go give him a follow over on Twitter. It's so good. So good. Or X. I'll call it X this time. So damn good. I would like to show you guys a certain video that's making the rounds. I can't. Well, I probably can, to be fair, but all I can say is this perfectly describes it. I don't know if you guys have seen this image of this this guy at Bass Pro Shops. At least I'm told that it was a man at Bass Pro Shops that jumped into one of the fishing the tanks, but that was my response. That was my response.
No, Jeremy, don't do it.
I'm not going to show it.
Them.
It's so bad though, man. It's so bad.
I mean, you technically can because you don't see anything.
I mean, it's the same as like when Gavin McGinnis, on FNT. That's about the same result, but oh man, it's so funny. It's so funny. So for those of you that don't know, there's some dude jumped into the fish tanks at Bass Pro Shops and he was naked. The man has no penis. I mean, the man has abs. Like, it ain't that he had a small penis. I don't think he had a penis. Like, it was very embarrassing. I can't show it though because technically it would be nudity, I guess. But yeah, it was it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Let's just say, okay, let me put it this way, okay? Let me just say that this guy ain't no Michelle Obama, okay? I'll just say that, okay? This guy ain't no Michelle Obama. So there's that. Old Renaissance Nerd said, if there were people actually trying to break into the chamber, that video would have been on every media outlet 24/7. No video to show. Mic drop. 100%. Minty says, Ian Crossland reared his head back and shouted, "Knuff!" That was funny when Ian got up. Can we meme that, please? Please, can we meme that? That was freaking hilarious. Golden Nugget says, so much beta. Minty says, the Cransons are worthless grifters and disingenuous hacks that want people to think they are way smarter than they are. Agreed. Lord Botha says, this debate has some serious lack of D-Day Cobra. Slain Hope says, LGBT mass shooters get counted as one of the victims. Western Smile says, Destiny acting like he never heard of the Uniparty. Cellular Dream says, that was trash. Ghost Crusader says, Cransons got banned for buying likes on Twitter, allegedly. That sounds about right. Samurai Knight says, remember they pulled this shit in 2016. However, they couldn't cheat the right states to win. They were able to do 2020 because of the COVID-19 situation. Yep. The Tribal Chief says, do you think Trump is a real Christian? Yeah, I think he is. I mean, I don't think that, I don't talk religion or anything like that. Like, I have my own beliefs and I respect other people's beliefs. And, I kind of I've always kind of been like that. Like, I ain't like to argue about dumb shit like sports and video games and movies, and fast food. I'm not going to debate someone on, what I believe to be eternal life. I don't think that that's worth me debating. I have my beliefs and other people have their beliefs, but I absolutely Do I think Trump is a true Christian? Yes. Does that mean he's as... And then people get into like, is he as good of a Christian as so-and-so? Well, am I? Are you? As anyone? Like, who makes that decision? So, of course he is. Yes. East Coast Toasty Boy says, it won't be a civil war. We outnumber them, and we have more bang-bangs, not to mention their followers are anti-bang-bangs. It'll be one-sided. We win. GG's. K. Rhodes says, Loomer got the police called on her by both Birdbrain and Neocon Ron today just for showing up to their town halls with a proper ticket. Disgusting. Laura Loomer, like, people can say she's crazy and she's nuts. Laura Loomer is a badass, okay? Laura Loomer is a badass. And at the end of the day, she's 100% MAGA and Trump, and she does not hide that from anybody, and I respect the hell out of it. East Coast Toast Boy says, Bass Pro Man is a trans woman now. Objectively a Cat says, Chris Christie is a terror to buffets everywhere. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Let's see here. Shadow says, Shadow Knight for $1. JFK, Ruby Ridge, Operation Mockingbird, and of course, Trump is love now in Iowa in preparation for the caucus. Reminds me of Vestige, the Huel people, Caucasus Mountains. Vault 95 says, happy J6 D-Day Fig. Got a Trump magic ball and the others. I love it. Cheers. Darmouse says, get it on, gay man. Darmouse says, shout out to Saltine76. Screwed YouTube. Showed them, gay man Jeremy. B. Barrett says, did you see Craig's interview with Chrissy Mayer where she talks about J6? I saw they did one, but I haven't actually watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Darmouse says, bad job, Mod Eric. Bad job. Now tell Jeremy he's gay. That's literally my entire Rumble chat's just me them calling me gay. Vault 95 says, hope Alex asked Destiny what makes him think the feds won't come for him next. Also, how's Destiny's divorce going? Guess the open marriage didn't work. Darmouse says, I call the Cransons the Crappersons. Darmouse says, why does Destiny look like a recovering crack addict? Darmouse says, Alex Jones, the only other man Destiny couldn't handle. General Duality, Alex Jones is the GOAT. Fuck these people. General Duality says, Alex Jones is the GOAT. Fuck off lefty retards. Vault 95 says, FYI, standardized leftist debate tactic is to misrepresent information, consistently contradict their own information, and purposely lie. It is not retardation. It is to frustrate their opponent. BK dropped a D-Day Cobra membership. Vault 95. Man, you guys just take full advantage of these dollar super chats on fucking Rumble. I'm going to read them all. Fucking get him, Ian. Yeah, that reminds me of the Ian clip where he yelled, it's not putting the mask back on, as found in Nerd Wars Woke Apocalypse video. Darmel says, I'm making your day over here, Jeremy. Lord of the Reese says, happy glowy day, everyone. Here's your reminder that the state is a multinational corporation with a monopoly of the use of force. Your friendly neighborhood anarchist. Darmouse says, give us your chat war, Jeremy. I'll work on it. You guys are so demanding. You know, like, people think that because they give me money, that they get to determine what I do. And all I will say to that is, you're absolutely right. Lost Tales, read my dollar worth of words, Jeremy. Read them. Mr. 30 Below says, Darmel said hi. I say hi back. Darmel says, hey, YouTube, how does it feel to not have that freedom to say gamer words without getting censored? Sucks, huh? Darmel says, Twitter X isn't free speech anyway. Got suspended for no reason. Of what rule I broke? Dumb gimps. The fig is whining. No, I was being sarcastic, saying yes. You have the. If you give me money, you have the right to tell me what to do. General Duality. YouTube licks boots the long way. Darmouth says this is one for Lost Tales. The broke bro. Darmouth says, where did it go? Shout out to Super B83 because I want to boom. General Duality says it was Jeremy skinny dipping at the Bass Pro Shop. Darmouth, because I can do more words over here with less than I would on YouTube. I can spam away, yeehaw. Mr. 30 Below says, give us the chat war we long for, bigot. Joe Voss says, happy FBI reunion day. Dragon Dan, no religion talk is good call. If someone told you to turn the other cheek, you would use your actual butt cheek to shut the fridge and go poop. So this wasn't the square up that I wanted it to be, unfortunately. I was trying to make that happen, but we're going to have to do that on another stream, unfortunately. And so here's what happened. If I can find it. Can't find it. So unless I'm not aware of it, and I might not be aware of it, but Rumble doesn't save the super chats, to my knowledge, on the back end. So like once the stream ends, I don't have any way of like getting those super chats specifically. So I kept the tab open since Wednesday on my computer. I kept the tab open of super chats. True story. So every day when I shut my computer down, I didn't like shut the whole thing down, and I kept the Rumble tab open with super chats. And right before I went live, my computer forced me to do a Chrome update. And when it forced me to do the Chrome update, it reset everything. So then it started the Rumble chat again, and the Rumble chat just said, hey, your chat's no longer here. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Yeah. So YouTube, I still have those. I still have those logged in on the back end. But yeah, it's so annoying. But I get it. I'm not mad at you, Rumble. I'm not mad at you at all. I love you. I got no problem with with them. I know it's going to take time for them to build up their platform and everything like that. So I got no problem with that. No problem at all. All right, so I'm trying to learn how to do this. So if I did at the day, yeah, that's not typing for some reason.
Jeremy, the chat's always right. You are gay.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Jeremy, you have like $320 to get.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to, it doesn't let me, I did the redirect the other night, but all right. Is that how that works? I hope I don't fuck this up. I hope I don't screw this up. So redirect allows you to keep viewers engaged across multiple events. Add a live stream or premiere to people to watch after mine ends. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay. So I think the redirect is kicked in. Okay. So we've got is these at the bottom?
No, they're in the $20 section.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. This has been a shit show tonight, but what do you expect from me? Justin Nova 1138 says the Soy Twins and Lil D only argued with excuses from falsehoods. They keep implying every Trump selectee has to be some royal loyalist. They represent the lack of integrity and are true propagandists and grifters. 100%. And I love how, and again, these are the things I would like to ask like some clown like that in the moment. They're like, they basically say Trump people are cultists, okay? And they all just agree with anything Trump. And then on the flip side, they'll point out someone that used to be a Trump supporter who's no longer a Trump supporter. And I'm going, well, if all Trump people are cultists and they all agree with Trump, how are you pointing out people that used to be Trump supporters that don't like Trump anymore? How does that work? I just need to understand the logic there. So literally, anyone that supports Trump is a cultist. But the people that don't support Trump anymore that you use for your argument, they now are just people you can use for your argument. So you're basically just creating a scenario where no one can support Trump unless they're a cultist, because you're trying to just eliminate their legitimacy of their support to begin with. It's such a nonsensical argument. Let's see. Marquand says, if the Boogaloo goes hot, it will be the rural red countries and the blue urban counties. Look at the electoral map. That puts the cities in a bad spot. Rural areas are commodity rich and they can starve out the cities. Yeah, I mean, it really, like, just, again, we all go, like, I'm not saying that there aren't people that support the Democrats. I don't think anybody truly supports Joe Biden. I think that there's a lot of people that just support the Democrats and hate Donald Trump. I do believe that's the case. There are people that hate Donald Trump and people that will support the Democrats. There are people that will vote Democrat. No doubt about that. But if you're being honest with yourself, no matter where you live, no matter where you're at, in the big scheme of things, at least from my perspective, it seems almost impossible to believe that Joe Biden actually has any real support beyond the hardcore lefties. Like, Donald Trump has real support out there. It's tangible. You can see it. You can feel it. It's there. The man does rallies all over this country, and tens of thousands of people show up even when there's hardly any advertising or promotion for it. If Donald Trump makes an announcement that he's going to this place in 2 days, 20,000 people are going to be there to show up. That's just a fact. There is not another person in politics that can even touch that. They can't even touch it. Joe Biden makes a 2-day announcement that he's going to be in, I don't know, Daytona, Florida. Who's going to show up? 15 old people? So it's just a tangible thing. Like, the support for Trump is real. And you go to a Trump rally, it feels like a college football game. Joe Biden has no support. Even online, there's no real support for Joe Biden. Mark Watts says, also the rural areas have another advantage. Our nuclear stockpiles are all in rural areas, and cities are small targets. Typing this from near a deep blue city. Don't nuke me, bro. Thank you for a lot of super chats tonight, brother. I appreciate that. And you've been following me forever, man. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Yo Pop says, enjoy the constant crashing rumble. Damn, Yo Pop's taking shots at the Rumble chat. That's funny. So I wonder if we should, like, we need to come up with like factions. Like, the Rumble chat needs to have their nickname, the YouTube chat needs to have their nickname, because all of you are the Snake Pit. The Snake Pit is both, all right? But it's almost like when the NWO, you know, you had like the NWO and then the NWO Wolfpack, but like, and then you had factions within the NWO. We got to have like the Snake Pit and then the factions within the Snake Pit. So I like that. I like that. Dara Mal says, I keep reading Gay Man. Love you, Jeremy. Quentin for a 199. Thank you. Dara Mal says, Jeremy, at Chrome Store, there's a plugin that's called Rant Stats. Maybe worth checking out. Noted. Thank you. I do need that. So Krista, save that for me. Dara Mal says, a happy birthday, General Duality. Michael S. Archer says, hey, new watcher, love the show. Very concerned on what's happening to this country. Don't know how we get out of this. I don't either, except for voting for Trump. That's the only thing, voting for Trump. Mick Hawk says, every time I ask for the car video, you get confused. The one where the chick hits her head on the car. Oh, okay. That's the damn video. I don't have that file here. It's only in my stream yards, or I'm sorry, stream yards. I'll have to, you know what? I'm a man of the people. I think I can work this out. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can pull this off. I'm a man of the people. Okay. It might not be the best way of doing it, but let's see if we can pull this off. Okay. Let's see if we can pull this off. The only way I can show that right now is through this. It's going to be, let's see here. Here's the only way I can do this. Share desktop. So the only way I can do it is right here. Damn! Let me put it on a loop. I'll just put it on a loop. Here we go. Here's the loop, all right? Damn! 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 Damn!
fall again.
Damn!
It's gonna fall again.
Damn!
All right, that's it. We're done. We're done. All right, there we go. I told you I'm a man of the people. I'll provide as best I can. There you go. You happy, Mick? You happy? Mr. 30 Below says, we reserve the term baguette to be used when addressing YouTube. General duality, Generation Rumble versus YouTube World Order. Darmouse says, yo, Pops, enjoy the bigger takeaway, D-Day Cobra. I'm sure YouTube loves you more. F word. JM the Elite Fan says, Rumble nickname is Royal Rumblers. YouTube chat, I can't have you say without getting YouTube back handed. LOL. Also, $15 rant technically makes this a 50. That's 10. That's right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. Mr. Dirty Blow says, JM the Elite Fan did 10. I shall match your move, YouTube. That's a $10. Devin Soria says, can we get the 199 Cult t-shirt and hoodie? I'm working on getting a new campaign with 221B, so stay tuned. I'm working on that right now. Okay, so this was only supposed to be an hour-long stream. I got another stream that I had planned for tonight. For those of you that are interested, you will be rerouted. You'll be rerouted to another stream, the gaming stream, if you're interested. Krista Nova, are you going to be there?
I'll be there, but I really want chocolate.
Are you going to stream?
Yeah.
All right.
Chocolate though.
All right. She wants chocolate though right now. So, do we have chocolate?
No.
Well, all right, we can make that
I
happen.
ate it all.
Oh, that sounds like Krista. And then I'm going to put these member messages onto the square up sheet because we still have a lot of square ups that I'm going to get to. I'm sorry. I should have known January 6th was a bad day to try to do a square up because there's so much to talk about. But it is what it is. I love you guys. And again, we are one of the most super chatted channels on the entire YouTube platform. And I'm sure that we're getting up there with Rumble as well. And I still try to read every single super chat and Rumble rant that comes in because I fucking love every single person that supports me. And I'm thankful for all the support. I don't know why you guys support me, but you do. And I'm very thankful for it. And so I know that some of these shows get bogged down by me reading the chats. And some of the viewers would rather me just focusing on the topics. I get that. But at the end of the day, the people are the only reason I have a job. The only reason Geeks and Gamers exists, the only reason CobraCast exists, the only reason I'm able to go play video games and have people watch me is because of the people. And I'll never forget that. So that's all I care about is the people, man. It's all I care about. So I do thank you so much. Mr. 30 Below says, for Kika's chocolate. That's a $10 super chat. Thank you. Let's see. Vault 95
Krista,
says,
your simp really, sorry. Krista, your simp really wants you to say hello.
I am MCU fan.
Mr. Krista.
Vault 95 says, Phil Levante pointed out that the U.S. has more nukes than anyone. If hot action broke out, foreign nations would invade in favor of the establishment. Celluloid Dream says Jeremy's turning into Tim Pool. I mean, I have hair underneath, unlike Beanie Boy. But thank you guys so much. I'll see you over on Cobra 199 for those that are interested. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Brock, you mad lad. Brock has not dropped any gifted memberships on Cobra 199. Can you believe that? Brock is boycotting Cobra 199, and I respect it. Brock's like, fuck you and your gay Fortnite, okay? I ain't doing that. I respect it. Now, here's what I'm going to try to do. Rumble. Since I do Cobra 199 through the same channel over there, I'm going to try and not end the stream on the Rumbles and Kick side and just continue on the stream. That's going to, because YouTube, it switches. So we're going to switch channels on YouTube. I'm going to try to not stop the stream and see if we can just keep the audience there for those that want to hang around. Okay? So we shall see if that works. But other than that, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And again, I will play the outro. I get hit for a copyright claim every time I play this outro, but I don't monetize my streams anyway because you guys do such a good job of supporting me. So, so outro, and then we will redirect over to Cobra 199. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good night, and we will talk to you later. All right, and here we go. We're going to do the raid of my Cobra 199 channel, and then I'm going to try to keep Rumble and Kick live. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. Time will tell if I can pull this off. So I'm going to do to the Be Right Back screen, and let's see if this is going to work. I have no idea if this is going to work, but we'll see if it works. Might as well figure it out in front of 1,200 people, right? I love you all. I'll see you in a few minutes. Bye, everyone.